Hi, everyone. My name is Miss Devon-Sand, or Miss DS for short, and I would like to introduce you to my Ethnic Studies and World History class. Miss Lord is my student teacher. She is a student teacher at Stanford. So I want to introduce you to a little bit as to who I am. This is my fifth year at Hillsdale and my 10th year teaching. Go Knights. Hillsdale is definitely my most favorite place I have ever worked. I showed this to your students. I talked about my favorite cultural traditions and my happy place. I described myself as being positive, warm, and I love to laugh. And I told them that my favorite part of my job is that I get to learn from them. And I love to watch them get excited over new material. And that's something I've still been able to see over Zoom because your students are fantastic. And I can already tell. And I appreciate their high level of engagement so far. And really, the best part is watching the students grow over 4 years. We get to take them in as these young kids in ninth grade and just watch them grow and graduate, which has been a really special experience. So you can see here I am with some of my former students. I believe that if some of you are watching this, I'm teaching the siblings of some of these students. This is Miss Press, the English teacher, and I on Twin Day. And I showed this picture with my sister because I was trying to be cool and show the kids that I use Snapchat once in my life. So that's me. And this is Miss Lord, again, my student teacher at Stanford, who is a fantastic asset to our class. She and I will be working together to develop the curriculum. And ultimately, she will be teaching one of the classes in the spring. But she will be in and out of my classes this fall, so long as her schedule permits it. So this is really exciting. This is the first year ever that the district is offering ethnic studies to all freshmen. And I do believe that we are ahead of the curve in the state, as I'm hoping that this will become a high school mandate in years to come. And I'm fingers crossed. So what is ethnic studies? Ethnic studies is a course, it's one semester right now, that is dedicated to race, ethnicity, and culture. I've been teaching world history for a long time, and I feel like I can say that the history curriculum is typically taught through a much more narrow lens, typically that European perspective. And this class really opens the doors to new narratives and different perspectives, people that are predominantly left out of the curriculum. It studies people of color, studies members of the LGBTQ community in their own language and on their own terms. I really do believe that this class highlights and celebrates the experiences of people of color and in other historically marginalized communities right here in the US. We get to look at the history, the experiences, the struggle, and the liberation of all these different groups of people. To say that I'm excited about this course is an understatement. Your students can tell you that I've been getting so into it. I've been banging on the desk. I'm psyched. This is long overdue, and I can't wait to teach it for the first time with your kids. They've been great so far. So what will we be doing? So first semester, we're looking right now at defining what is ethnic studies, why is it important. We're learning some pretty heavy terms like power and oppression and hegemonic systems and dominant and counter narratives. We will then go into a pretty big unit on race and racism, then on gender and sexuality, and we will finish the semester with this project on transformation and change. We work very closely with Ms. Press's English class. So what we are doing in history is then also being taught through a literature lens in English, which I think is super cool. The big projects for race and racism and transformation and change we're working on them, but they're going to be awesome. And I really do think they'll give students an opportunity to be agents of change in their community. And I'm excited to watch it happen. Second semester, we go back to world history. So I believe this is the schedule. And again, so much is up in the air because of number one, that this is the first time teaching ethnic studies, and two, we don't know where we'll be in the spring, but hopefully in person. So we'll be looking at imperialism in India, Africa, and Iraq. We'll be looking at revolutions in Haiti, in Mexico, and the more recent one in the Arab Spring. And then we will finish the year with South Africa. So what kind of skills will we be working on? Both in English and in history, we're learning about metacognitive reading strategies, this annotation process, and it's laborious, but it's so important. And students really do come back and say this has really changed how they read and how they process material. It is a slower process, but that is intentional in that when we get them to think about what they're thinking, to think about what they're reading and reflect on it, They understand the material at a deeper level. We'll also be doing some historical inquiry, looking at different perspectives, source evaluation. One thing that I forgot to put up here is we're also doing a different type of note taking where students are intentional about the notes they take and can reproduce their notes in a creative way that makes the most sense to them. We will be doing writing. We will be doing narrative and expository essays. We'll be doing reflections and journals and speaking. This is one thing that I'm really trying to encourage our students to do. It's like my big push because we speak so much in class normally that I would like them to continue to do that online. So we will be doing full class presentations. We are going to be doing a lot of group work, and they're going to have different roles in that group work, some of which require speaking and taking charge in the group. And then, of course, full class discussions. I'm pausing for questions as if anybody is listening to me or with me. So a typical distance period. Well, 3 weeks in, this is what it's looking like, but I do believe it's going to change and continue to change. I always start class with a do now. That's a silent, usually silent, reflective piece where they look back at their notes from the previous class and make sure they understand them, and then they look forward to something that's coming up. That can be done in their notebooks. It could be done on an online platform known as Nearpod. It just depends. I have been doing a lot of direct instruction and front loading the material, but I do allow time to process with group work, partner discussion, individual writing. They also have other opportunities to work in groups, and we've used a couple different tech tools so far. I'm going to introduce Jamboard next week, and we've done Google Docs and Nearpod. Again, the reading strategies, we put together this awesome reader, if you don't say so myself, for history and English class, and we're going to be looking at different readings that connect with these themes that we're studying. And every Wednesday, as long as the schedule stays the way it is, we'll be doing community circle. And so far it's gone really well. And I really give a lot of props to your students because it's scary. They have to share a bit about themselves in the community circle. It's just about a minute or two. And each student comes off mute and talks a little bit about their own identity. This last week, the students showed off their sketch notes, and they were amazing, like so much better than mine. And it was a really cool opportunity for them to learn a little bit more about each other without me getting involved, and for them to see how each other thinks and processes and take notes. So I'm really excited about the community circles. They've been really great so far. So what's the best way to engage? If possible, if we could take away or make sure the students don't have the phones near them. I don't allow them in class unless they're like every once in a while if I need them to look up stuff and the internet's not working. But that has really helped me, at least. If my phone's not near me, then I'm way less distracted. I know we're having a lot of issues with the Wi-Fi, but as long as if your Wi-Fi is working and the student hasn't let me know or the parent hasn't let me know, I would like their camera to be on, as it just allows me to engage and see if they're confused or following along. But I know that some students aren't comfortable with that. I would love to get more students responding to questions in the chat or out loud. A big one that I think across the board teachers are kind of struggling with is students are reluctant to share in these breakout rooms with 2 or 3 other kids. So the more we can get them into that would be great, because there is so much learning that happens from their peers that I do in class and I'm trying to replicate online. And that's where the breakout rooms come in. And of course, one of the things I'm missing the most is just engaging with the students. I do love when they smile at me, when they laugh at my bad jokes. Like, these things are optional, but they do keep me going, and it shows me that they're somewhat paying attention. So how do we grade? This is the same in Ms. Press's English class. The major summative assessments, that's 50%. That's projects, essays, Socratic seminars. Formative assessment is any homework or classwork that I grade for quality, and I give them feedback on, and they have an opportunity to redo it as well. And preparation and productivity is, did you do it completely? And if you did the work completely, you get 100%. That's a lot of the homework assignments. So sorry, this slide is not quite as pretty, but where do I find classwork and homework when my student is absent? That's an error, just absent once. So everything will be found on modules. They will have both the name for the classwork and homework for each day. So if you could see here, this is from this week, Why Study Ethnic Studies. If they ever miss class and they want to get my presentation, they click on this link. This is my calendar that I keep for myself. They're welcome to look at that if they want to get ahead. And then I break it down by the days. Monday, Tuesday, they need to click here so they understand the homework as symbolized with HW. And then Wednesday, Thursday, the classwork was to make sure they signed up for the community circle. They just click on that link and it takes them there. All work is considered late if it comes in after the due date on Canvas or when class starts. It's 5% off each day, but I always offer extensions, always, always. They just need to let me know before it's due, and then I'm happy to help them. Of course, if your student has accommodations, that's less strict, the due dates. Reassessment policy, I do allow students to redo one project every 6 weeks, so that's always an option, and then I average the 2 grades together. I work very closely with Ms. Press. She is a dear friend and an incredible colleague, and we plan our curriculum side by side, and we do a lot of joint projects together. So we are, in about 3 weeks, we're introducing a literacy panel where students will apply the metacognitive annotation strategies that they've learned in English and ethnic studies. And they're going to sit on a panel and talk through their metacognitive strategies using a history text and an English text. We did it 2 years ago, and it was fantastic. One of the best things I think we've done, honestly. It was a cool opportunity for the kids to meet in small groups with each other and with the teacher. Our other major projects, like I said earlier, are still in flux, but we're excited about them, and we think they're going to be really great. They'll be able to apply and analyze the major themes they're learning in both classes. The narrative project will be written, and the transformation project will most likely be some form of a panel presentation. And lastly, the best way to contact us is through email or through Canvas messaging. I'm looking forward to meeting everybody at some point. I'm really missing being at back to school night and seeing all of your faces and seeing if you sit in the same seat as your child. That's always fun for me. But we'll pretend that that's going to happen in the near future. Hopefully. And I hope everybody's well. Stay safe. And thanks for giving me all your students. They're awesome. Have a good day. Bye-bye.